after 6 months of watching everything that's happened in the world, what are your current thoughts on COVID, on what you call now the scandemic? What is your summary now if some aliens visited and they said, Alex, what happened the last 6 months? What would you tell them happened?
If aliens arrived and said, what happened here? I would say the United Nations with a consortium of big corporations, Bill Gates, the Communist Chinese, created a fear-based system to bring in a robotic post-human surveillance grid, the global social credit score, to dominate and control humanity and to divide humanity and to make humanity be the enemies of each other, and to also test a larger surveillance grid out, not just the virus, but also what's being said about the virus, and that this is a culling operation to reduce the numbers of humans on the population of the planet, not as a way to save the earth, but as an exercise of total power and total control. And I would tell the aliens that I think the Bill Gates project gets about a C-, and as humanity awakens even more, it's going to be an F- very, very soon, because they can get effects they want up front. But the aftershock effects of the awakening to this are really, really massive. And so I would tell the space aliens that we're visiting that this attempt to take humans out of their natural setting, this attempt to dominate us and dumb us down and make us take sterilants and forced inoculations has not gone well.
Now, look, I don't want to ask you this question to go to a dark place, but I think it's good to know the enemy. If they had gotten an A- on this exercise, what could they have done differently now in retrospect to get the A-? You know what I mean? As in, if they were more successful at what they'd done the last 6 months, how would they have done it differently?
The A- is Melbourne, Australia. It's Quebec City, Canada. It's Houston, Texas. In Quebec City, in Melbourne, which are all mayors that have UN deals, so they're under a thing called munalization, where the UN can't get the central governments to go under their control, so they get local governments too. Schwarzenegger, for about a decade, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually led the munalization movement to get carbon taxes in around federal governments. And so what they're doing under munalization is they're coming in and having local governments basically enforce it. So you've got lockdowns for 10, 12 weeks, can't leave your house, period. Women wearing masks outside their house, being beat up, taken to jail, checkpoints on the highway. And then they come by and do forced COVID tests, both nasal and blood. And now they're saying, oh, we've got emergency centers, like the head of the UN Rapid Response Team said, where we're going to just go ahead and take you away. So they have about a 90% false positive test. It's the perfect cover to arrest and disappear whoever they want. So here's the Houston mayor. Dim mayor launches study that will collect blood samples from random selected homes. They say they're going to try to force you to give blood. That's today. We've also got Quebec City, where they just came out last week and said, we're going to go ahead and just start arresting everybody. And if you don't take a test, or you do take a test, we're going to take you to a secret facility. So it's all about the cover for these Clinton Foundation COVID tracers who get taxpayer money to come basically disappear you. And then Ohio announced, oh, we got a FEMA contract where we're going to just start randomly testing you on highways. And if you come up positive, we're going to make you wait 30 minutes for the test. We're going to take you to a facility. So they're just getting you used to people being grabbed off roads, grabbed out of their houses, and disappeared. And so whether it's the United States, whether it's Canada, whether it's Spain, whether it's Australia, whether it's New Zealand, this is all UN run, where the UN puts out the idea. And when the UN puts out the idea, you're disappeared.
All right, so those cities kind of represent their checkmate moves. The other cities, how come they haven't succumbed to those drastic measures? And is it only a matter of time, or is it because some people have gone out there and said no and pushed back? What's made a difference?
Well, exactly. That's basic deduction. And I'm glad you brought the question back up, because what I do is I kind of hear what the question you asked, and I gave part of the answer and didn't remember the first part of the question. They have beta tested in UN-run cities where they have their people, they control the police force, maximum martial law, forced inoculation preparations, blood draws, total surveillance. Black Lives Matter, funded by Soros, can rally, but you can't have a rally against the mask. So true tyranny. And these are all unionized under a strong cities initiative. That's what the UN calls it, to have these cities under UN control. And so the answer is, why didn't many other cities and states and countries do it? And it's because they are not under UN control. And so the great silver lining of all this, Brian Rose, is that we can now look out and see which cities, Austin, Texas, Melbourne, Australia, Madrid, Spain, Barcelona, Spain, London, England, we can now see what cities have mayors, have globalists in, that are willing to absolutely press this Quebec City 110% to things that are like, you read what they're doing, you watch the local newscast. I mean, they're like, we're here with guns. You have refused testing. They're like, we're healthy. We don't. You posted on Facebook that it's fake. We're arresting you under orders of the Queen. That's in Canada. They bust in and they drag out crying kids. That's just getting everybody used to like secret. No, oh, you're not being arrested for your speech. They know we'll resist over our speech or our guns, or our business. But if it's for COVID, they think, hey, we can start disappearing people, and they actually admit this is their plan.
And if you get that fear response in people, they say, you got to go because you might infect me and my family. So they'll give you a pass on violating certain civil rights if people have enough fear, because it goes to the amygdala and then people don't act rationally.
Exactly. Where'd the neighbor go? Well, I mean, it was COVID. So the UN said 6 months ago, 4 months ago, a month ago, we've got to start grabbing people out of their houses. And the whole UN people get real excited when they say that, because that's secret police. That's what they want. That's like Nigel Farage came out and said, the UK is now East Germany. It is. And areas that are under liberal control, we are East Germany now. I mean, Black Lives Matter can burn the police station, shoot people in the head, but if a woman is in a bar and pulls her mask off going to the bathroom, the police run in and tackle her because they want to be SJWs. So I'm not against the police. The left's only attacking police to get them bullied under their full control because the police are so close to following orders. The police are actually a great threat on average because they will follow orders.